Hi there, welcome to the presentation on how to have food freedom. My name is Tanya Unkovic, and it's my pleasure to be here with you today to take you through this masterclass on how to stop overeating, how to get back in shape again, and start feeling proud of your body. So, who is this masterclass for? Well, it's for any busy professional woman who struggles to maintain her weight. You find that you're regularly overeating, you're always seeming to be on a diet, and you're always obsessing about food, calories, or your body, and you're just simply not living. So, if this sounds like you, and you're worried that this problem is now starting to affect every other area of your life, then this presentation is for you. So, what am I going to share with you during the next 35 minutes or so? Well, I'm going to share with you a lot of my own story. I'm also going to share with you how you can now finally free yourself from this pattern of yo-yo dieting, binge eating, and the constant obsession, so that it no longer feels as though you are being controlled by food. I'm going to share with you how you can actually start enjoy eating again, without the constant thoughts or fear about food, what is going to be served up to you, or what it's going to do to your body if you eat it, or show you how to no longer eat the same meals every single day. I'm going to show you how you can now overcome the embarrassment of not being able to maintain your weight, or the shame that you might have and self-punishment that you have every time you slip up or give up on your new eating plan. I'm also going to show you how to start showing yourself some kindness and compassion instead of punishing yourself when you feel as though you're not doing things perfectly. When you're a high achiever, it's very, very difficult to actually give yourself a bit of slack, isn't it? I'm going to show you how you can now start developing a bit of self-respect. Because what happens when you're really deep in this whole area of food and obsession, you tend to tolerate things that are intolerable. I'm also going to show you how when you fix this area of your life, that every other area of your life will always improve. You know what they say, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So when you tidy up this area of food and your body image and everything else that goes along with it, you will notice other things start to change. You will start showing up stronger in your career. You'll be making better decisions. You'll find your relationships improve. Once you've reached your goal weight or your desired weight or whatever else it is that you really want to achieve, I'm going to show you how from now on you can maintain it and not feel as though you're going to slip up, not live with this fear that you're going to go back to your old patterns again and, oh, look, it'll work for everyone else, but not for me. It's never worked for me. Well, I'm here to tell you that actually it can. Also, during this presentation, you're going to learn how to finally live your life without overeating, without being obsessed with food, with dieting, what to eat, the shape of your body, and everything else that goes along with this problem. Unless you've lived through it, you don't really know what it's like. I'm going to show you during this presentation how you can finally be free. Now, this has been such a massive journey for me, a massive healing process, but I tell you what, there's been a lot of trial and error, and I've really had to go through a lot of really tough and some ugly experiences. So I'm just wondering if you relate to any of these that I know that I went through and are so common when I speak to some of my clients. For example, do you struggle to get through your busy days of meetings and deadlines and having to make big decisions in your corporate world, if this is what you do, without turning to food to help you when the stress gets too bad? Do you find now that your physical health is now so different? It's noticeably being affected by this problem with food. For example, you're lacking energy, you don't seem to be able to move as freely as you once could. Your sleep is affected, you either can't get to sleep or you're so groggy because of all of the binge eating. Maybe you're struggling to do the things that you once used to do. Are you finding that your intimate relationship is not what it used to be? Maybe you're feeling self-conscious about your body. Maybe it is that you want to be in a relationship now, and this problem is stopping you from even trying. Do you find that your emotional health is now being affected by this problem? You're not as confident about your appearance and your health. You're starting to isolate yourself more. You're not living because you're waiting for some day to happen. You know, that magic day when you've lost all the weight or got into the relationship you want to be in. Is your self-confidence now being affected that badly that you don't want to look at yourself in the mirror when you pass one of those big glass mirrors when you're out and you take a glance at yourself, or when you're getting dressed, you don't want to look at yourself, or when you're putting your makeup on, it makes you feel awful about yourself? Have you lost weight so many times before, repeating the same old patterns, that you're now just dead sick of it all? You're at that point actually where you don't know what to do anymore, you don't know what to eat anymore, you don't even know what plan to start on anymore. You've just had a guts full of it all. Have you lost all hope of believing that there's any way out of this problem? You've just accepted that maybe that this is just the way it is for me now. So as a result, you're going to settle. You're settling with your own personal health, you're settling with your love life, you're just settling in life. Well, I'm here to tell you that things can be different. So that's why I'm going to share with you the roadmap that you can use to freedom from this problem, to finally be in shape and feel healthy again and actually be fulfilled in your life instead of hiding away. I'm sharing this with you because I know what my life once upon a time used to be like, and I know what it's like now. And it is so incredibly different, and so will yours be. You'll start enjoy eating again, discovering the foods that you enjoy, and, learn to eat as much as your body needs instead of sticking to rules day in and day out. You will, over time, learn how to trust yourself around food and not have to stick to these rigid life schedules in order to feel in control of your daily food intake. You know what it's like. You can only go to certain places where they're going to have your food or where you can eat your own food. You're going to now learn what it's like to feel up you're going to learn what it's like to wake up feeling energized. That's going to be your new norm. You're no longer going to feel this discomfort of having a bloated belly or that shame and the guilt of having binged the day before. You're going to learn and develop a new level of self-respect and discipline, and now be motivated to start taking better care of yourself. You're going to start feeling better, you're going to start looking better, and that is going to be a driver for you to want to maintain this once and for all. It will become your new reality. You're now going to finally allow yourself to truly show up, be free, especially in your intimate relationship. And if you're not in a relationship, once you get this problem sorted, you may decide to now finally allow love in, if this is what you want. Now, professionally, you're going to show up with a lot more energy and personal certainty. You're going to be able to make decisions with certainty. Now, this is where regular self-care is going to be so important so that you avoid burnout. I mean, when you're in a high-powered role or when you've got a busy professional life, this is a must to actually having lasting change, no matter what it is that you're going through. I know so many professionals who are burnt out and they use food or alcohol or all sorts of other things to try and give them the energy to get through. That is not the way to do it. The other new reality for you is that you're now going to learn how to trust yourself and your intuition even more. When you've got this area sorted out, then you start having a personal certainty which will extend into every other area of your life. So you're going to now start making decisions that will be made from a place of clarity and certainty and strength. Now, believe it or not, you're going to now start to feel proud of your body, especially as you start losing some of those pounds and getting in shape again. But you know what? A lot of people start feeling this pride even when they stop the bad habits. And the difference is, this time, it will remain this way. You're never going to slip back into those long-term unhealthy patterns. So who am I to be able to tell you all of these things that are going to be different in your life when you finally decide for you? Well, as I've already said, my name is Tanya Rungovich. I started on this personal journey of healing when I was 16, okay? I walked into a therapist's office because I knew something was wrong. My eating problem started when I was 14. So this has been a lifelong healing process for me. 4 decades. Okay, so no, apart from that though, right now I do speaking. I am a speaker, I'm a published author, and also I'm an executive and business mentor. I do personal mentoring, of course. So that is what I do now for work. But it didn't start that way. It started actually in the finance department. I'm an accountant by trade, would you believe? But then that transitioned into being a business mentor and a personal life coach. Now, I had to do that because of certain things that went on in my life, and I really wanted to change what I was doing. So as a result of that, I was able to mentor a lot of my business clients and a lot of my private clients. So I've been consulting now for around 30 odd years. Then when life made a really big radical change for me in my 40th year, actually, when my late husband died of cancer, I then wrote some books on how to actually come back even stronger after adversity. And that's when I started the speaking. And from there on, I've done a lot of media. I do a lot of writing for articles. I'm on regular radio appearances. And my third book is about to be published this year. So one of my real happy moments in life was when I went to the United States and I was interviewed by Dr. Robert Schuller. So that was after my first book, Unplanned Journey, was published. So that was a magic moment for me in my life. Okay, let me now get on to this presentation and show you what is necessary to finally fix this problem, to finally have lasting change in this area of food and dieting and all that sort of thing. Look, now, as I've already said, my journey started when I was 14. Now, I have tried every single diet there possibly is. I've joined a very famous weight loss organization 10 times. I kid you not. I was never heavy enough to join. So sometimes I used to put rocks in my jacket so that I was heavy enough to join. That was how desperate I was to be able to fix this problem with food. You know, it took me from living a life of being stuck, feeling shame, and totally in prison with this food hell, to now living a life of freedom. I would never do to my body now what I once used to do to it. And that is the truth. Okay, the first thing you've got to do is decide. Believe it or not, that is probably the toughest step, many say. But if you don't make a decision that change is now a must, then you're going to keep being tempted to go back and find a quick, easy fix, okay? Decide now that once and for all, you're going to fix this problem. This is the final time you're going to do it. It's when we say enough is enough, there are no more excuses. Now it is a must for me. We can become professional, can't we, at making an excuse as to why it hasn't worked for us, all right? So it's about now going, all right, I am so capable of doing so many things in so many areas of my life. I've achieved this, I've achieved that, I've got such a big professional role. I can master all of these other areas. So it's about now believing that you can master this as well, all right? But you've got to make the decision, because you know that saying, nothing changes when nothing changes. The biggest change is deciding. What you also have to do is let go of all of those past attempts. It's so easy to carry shame about all the times we've tried to do this in the past, whether it be lose weight or just stop the eating, okay? From this day forward, believe that life will never be the same again. What is it going to cost you if you don't do it this time? It is all about making the decision. But also, you know, once you've made a decision, it's also about allowing yourself to live a wonderful life. I mean, I know you have tried this before. So what got in the way? What got in the way in the past? What has stopped you? So often we just don't allow ourselves to be happy. So part of this process of deciding is finally allowing yourself to succeed. Otherwise, if you don't, you're going to keep giving up every time discomfort kicks in, or if you get bored. Trust me, you're going to find a perfectly good reason to bolt. Now, when you make this big decision, it's also about asking some big questions. Where do you want to be in another 6 months' time, 12 months' time, 3 years' time? When you make the decision, then you can openly ask yourself that big question, what do I really, really want? What do you want? That's why the next major shift is to actually start losing it from the inside out. Lose it from the inside out and it will stay off forever. I know it's a little bit tempting to keep trying the same thing over and over again, but you do have to stop. You do have to stop some of those crazy things, some of those crazy diets, some of those crazy fads that keep coming out. It's tempting, I know, because it promises us a quick result. But the truth is, you're just going to lose the same weight again and again, and it's going to come back. Nothing changes when nothing changes. If you're only going to try and change that external stuff, has it worked for you in the past? Has it really? That's why I'm going to invite you to just say no more quick fixes. They're only temporary. You want lasting change because this is the last time you're going to do this. You want to stop repeating those patterns that haven't worked. And finally, address what comes up for you when you put the food down. The truth is that life is a series of challenges and opportunities, grief and sorrow, happiness and anger and all that sort of stuff, right? And this is what drives us to the food because we haven't really learned how to live our life. But when you start losing from the inside out and deal with the stuff that is driving you to the food, then you're going to be able to just live your life. I love that saying, eat 3 meals a day and live in between. Okay, I don't know about you, but I used to have one big meal all day, or it was just obsession in between each meal. This way, you are going to now learn how to eat whatever meals you have per day and live your life in between. Because when you learn to live, your body will automatically follow. The truth is that when you get yourself together, then everything else, your whole world will come together. It isn't going to make it easy, but it's going to mean that you're going to be able to live now without this craziness and obsession. It means trusting your intuition, no longer looking outside of yourself for the answers. It's about learning to look within. I'm going to invite you to stop chasing the quick fix, because if you continue to chase the quick fix, this is what is going to prevent you from going within. And when we don't go within, then eventually we do go without. Now, the third big shift that I personally made and that I share with my clients and teach my clients how to do is to start measuring and managing the numbers that matter. It's very easy to become obsessed with the scales and grams of protein and carbohydrates and calories, and that being your only measurement, and that actually becoming another obsession. I'm going to invite you to know that there's more to life. Ask yourself, what am I going to do with all of this extra time? I'm not sure about you, but I personally spent a lot of time dieting and depriving myself, and then I'd be into the whole binging and the obsession, the self-punishment, the calorie counting. Everything was controlled, restricted. Oh gosh, the weight loss process really did take some time, and it took away from my life, it took away from my relationships, it took away from my work. That is how I used to cope the old way with life, and that would keep you in that cycle of binging and eating and yo-yo dieting. That is why the patterns kept repeating, where you just stay angry at yourself, you're full of shame, the weight gain is there, and you feel embarrassed, and you're not as energized. You're not making great decisions. You're not living. But when you finally make this decision to let it all go and start looking at other areas of your life that you can change, you'll notice that you're no longer going to be in this place of uncertainty. You're no longer going to be making impulsive decisions which are made from a place of uncertainty or loneliness. And you're going to find that all of these other areas of your life are going to improve. Now, this is one of the things. What are you going to do with your life when you put the food down? What are you going to do with what comes up when you put the food down? Because so much of our time in our life and our identity is around body, weight, food, calories, and all that. What are you going to talk about when you don't have that to talk about? So this is a very important part of the process. I want you to learn how to manage and measure other things apart from that number on the scale. I'm going to invite you to believe that this will work for you if you make the decision. And when you change this area of your life, then everything else will improve. Your life will be different. And you're going to trust yourself. Yes, you're going to be triggered again, and you're going to maybe want to be tempted to pick up the food, and maybe you will. But you'll learn how to move through it. Start taking intelligent action, inspired action. You're going to learn how to master your life, but live it one day at a time. You've made the decision to never give up on yourself, no matter what. You're going to learn how to follow your intuition. You're going to learn how to listen to your instinct and make decisions on what you want for your life, even when it comes to eating. I know many people go, what do you mean by that? You're going to learn to start choosing food that you enjoy. You're going to learn to start designing the life that you want. You're going to learn to become the expert of you, trusting and listening to your instinct and becoming masterful at making decisions for your life. You're going to be able to do all this because you're no longer going to be in that time-wasting obsession of food and everything else that goes around with it. Here is one of my long-term clients, Lois, who came to me many years ago, in fact. Her issue was all around food. Okay, we addressed that. There she is on the right, looking amazing. High-achieving woman, massive professional role. Not only is her food sorted and her weight sorted, but she has sorted so many areas of her life. And now, after a number of years of being single and alone, she put it out there that she really wanted to find love again. And sure enough, she's now in a beautiful, loving, committed relationship. When you fix this area of your life, then other areas of your life will begin to change. The thing that I'm going to invite you to do is to commit to mastery. And this is what I've done. Every decade of my life, I've strived to live to a higher standard. I've looked for and chosen to be around people who live to this higher standard because that's the standard I want to live to. I knew that I had to find mentors, choose the right mentor who was going to help me through this. And I've had many mentors in my life. But I really did need to choose people who knew this journey. And they were bold and they were brave and they were encouraging me to do the same, you know. And when I see people walking their talk, then that is really attractive to me. But I also needed someone who was going to be honest with me. The other thing about choosing the right mentor, and for me this was the case, is that they became like my trusted advisor in every area of my life. It wasn't just about food. Once you sort the food out, you find you're not talking about it anymore. The thing about choosing the right mentor in this area of your life is having someone who understands your journey, knows how to stand with you and support you with what comes up for you when you decide to finally put the food down. It's about having the courage to ask some powerful questions of yourself. What do I really want? Am I living the life that I know I deserve? What needs to happen now? What is my definition of greatness? Who's going to help me see that? Sometimes you don't see it for yourself. Who's my identity now in this smaller body? I'm so used to being big and carrying all these extra pounds. I need to create this new identity of me, knowing that this is how I'm going to show up in the world, knowing that this is how I'm going to finally have lasting change. The way to have lasting change is to maintain your emotional state, no matter what shows up in your life. This is the benefit of being surrounded by strong people, by being surrounded by people who so want to live to a higher standard. Because if you don't, the cost of doing it alone can be a little bit tough at times. I mean, the thing is, you don't know what you don't know, right? Whereas a mentor will see your blind spots and they'll save you time while you're on this journey. Once you make that decision to really reach your true potential, you're not going to want to stay small anymore. How you do one thing is how you do everything. When you start getting results in this area of your physical life, you're going to want to have fulfillment and mastery in every other area of your life as well. That is what happens when you commit to mastery. Okay, I have shared with you some of the things that I have used and that I share with my clients on how to finally have food freedom. I shared with you today how if you use all of these principles, you can live without the food craziness and have clarity on your life and show up with certainty, knowing that you have everything you need within you to master resilience in all of these areas of your life. And of course, food free, especially if you follow the principles that I've just shared with you. Number one, first and foremost, it's about deciding. Making the decision that you finally want to be free and live fearlessly. And that means losing it from the inside out, because you want to sort out what comes up for you every time you put the food down. Now, it's not only about measuring the scales and the measurements, it's about also measuring all of the other areas of your life that are going to change, because at the end of the day, we strive for achievement, right? But we miss out on fulfillment. I'm going to invite you to start reaching for fulfillment as well. And in order to be able to do this, it is about investing in your greatest asset. It is about investing in you, knowing that you're worthy enough to do that for yourself. One of the most empowering days of my life was when I realized that I was worthy enough, that I was worthy to be able to make this decision for me. I made a choice. No longer was I going to be mean with myself and scrimp and save, and as a result, my life was meaningless. I knew there was so much more to my life. I wasn't going to be in this place of being a victim of my circumstances, being a widow at a young age. I wasn't going to use that as an excuse anymore. I made the decision. I made the choice. And I decided, actually, I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to do what other people haven't done. I'm going to step out of my comfort zone. Actually, I decided to leap out because I really wanted freedom. I really wanted to discover my personal and professional greatness. And I'm inviting you to do the same today. So, if you'd like a hand on making that decision, or if you're in the process of deciding to be great, to be bold and brave, I'm happy to help you. We can get on a call together, and together we can just try and work out where you are now, what it feels like, get some clarity on what you want for your life and where you want to be and who you need to be in order to get there. And if I can assist you and we work together in the future in order to help you get there, then that's great. If not, then I'm happy to point you in the direction that you need to go in. So if you feel ready now, if you're highly motivated and you are really ready to do whatever it takes to get lasting change, then this call is for you. You're at that point now where you believe that enough is enough and you're tired of doing the same thing over and over again, and you're not getting any different results. If anything, many people just keep putting on more weight and spending more money and wasting more time. So if you want an extraordinary service and outcome from me, then this call is for you. Also, you need to be persistent. You need to have tenacity and do whatever it takes in order to get the outcome, because you want to make your mind up that this is the last time you're going to do this, because you know deep down you want to live to a higher standard and you do not want to settle in your life anymore. Whenever someone says to me, "Why do you do what you do? You help people with such big problems." Well, I do it because I was once one way. And I know what it feels like to be living in the insanity of this problem. Now I and my life are completely different. And the thing that happened in between was everything that I have shared with you in this presentation. Also, I want to contribute back to mankind. It's about leaving a legacy. It's about helping people to be greater. So if we get on a phone call together, my aim is that this call is the one that's going to be able to change your life from now on. So to book a call with me, there is the link on my screen. And when you book a call, all you need to do is simply wait for my call. What I would invite you to do is just fill out the questionnaire, where it just gives me all of the details that I need and to be prepared before we make the call together. So while you're waiting for me to call you, please feel free to go to my website, tanyaunkovich.com. Now, it is at my website you'll be able to see all of the resources that I have there. You will be able to see all of the testimonials, or some of the testimonials of the people that I've worked with over the years, and also quite a lot of the media that I have been in over the last few years is on my website. Not everything, but some of it anyway. Okay, this is the end of my presentation. It's been my absolute honour being with you here today. Until we speak, take care and live with passion.